Right. Well, she crawled out of bed. If you're eager and ready, then why don't we get an early start? Applejack should be working in the fields right about now, Twilight said, looking out of the window. Even if she wasn't buying Trixie's false enthusiasm, she wasn't about to let it stop her either. She had carefully devised and scheduled the day so that they would catch each of her friends alone, allowing Trixie to meet and deal with them all individually. Trixie had to admit she was quite thankful that Twilight was such a capable planner. She briefly checked her hair and headed towards the door. What about Spike? Trixie asked, gesturing at the still slumbering baby dragon. I'll let him sleep. He's been working extra hard lately with 2 ponies living here. Twilight replied, opening the door to the outside world, and waited for Trixie. After you. As Trixie passed Twilight, her fellow unicorn leaned in and gave her a reassuring kiss on the cheek that sent those familiar tingles shooting down her spine. Maybe today wouldn't be that bad after all. Halfway to Apple Acres, Trixie's brief bout of optimism was nearly blown away from her by a streaking rainbow. Well, if it isn't the great and powerful Trixie! Twilight winced slightly as Rainbow Dash proceeded to smash her carefully laid out schedule to pieces by descending from the clouds to meet them. Rainbow Dash was supposed to be the last one they met with, after Trixie had gained some confidence and forgiveness by meeting with the others, whose sense of pride and reactions to that pride, being wounded, wasn't as strong as Dash's. Hi, Rainbow Dash, Twilight said warningly, casting a slightly worried glance at Trixie, who had an unreadable expression on her face. Dash smirked playfully, looping circles around the 2 unicorns. Your friend take on any more Ursa Minors recently? Maybe that would explain why she's not looking so great and powerful anymore, Dash said, continuing to push her buttons, and Twilight bristled slightly. Dash? You're absolutely right, Rainbow Dash, Trixie interrupted, causing the 2 ponies to blink in surprise, looking at her. Trixie? I am? Rainbow Dash said in a confused voice. Trixie continued. Oh, how could I be foolish enough to think that I, Trixie, could possibly match the awesomeness of you, Rainbow Dash? She said in the same theatrical but convincing tone that she had taken on during her performance. Wait, are you serious? Are you making fun of me? Rainbow Dash said, clearly looking confused at Trixie's words, an expression shared by Twilight's own. Trixie bowed her head, lowly and humbly, at Rainbow Dash. Of course not, Rainbow Dash. You really are the coolest pony in all of Equestria, and I should never have tried to match you. It was only my jealousy! Please forgive me for trying to embarrass you, Trixie exclaimed, throwing herself dramatically on the dirt. Of course, I can see why you'd want to, Rainbow Dash said, her confusion turning into pride as her confidence was fed. Well, everything turned out alright, so I think I can forgive you. She grinned brightly, her wings beating fiercer. Your new friend is better than I thought, Twilight. I like her. Twilight, looking between the bowing Trixie and the pride-filled Dash, tried to think of what to say and only managed to sputter out a couple of words. Thanks, Dash? Well, I woke up early just to meet with you 2, and I think it's time for a nap, Dash exclaimed. Before the unicorns could bid their farewells, she zipped off into the clouds. Twilight watched her go. Well, that wasn't too bad, Trixie said, and Twilight blinked. Casting a glance at her, she picked herself up off the ground, dusting herself off and smiling. How did you... Twilight had been so certain this would be the hardest confrontation. It was appealing to her pride. I really do feel bad for what I did, but I knew that trying to apologize normally wouldn't work. Trixie kept smiling. Fortunately, I have a lot of practice in bolstering someone's ego. I did it to myself all the time. Twilight paused, then giggled. You put on quite the act. Trixie puffed her chest out with pride, tapping it with a hoof. I was a showmare, remember? I thought about putting her name in lights, but that might have been a bit too much. Trixie started walking again, Twilight trotting alongside her, the 2 laughing with one another. Trixie had to admit, she felt not just happy, but confident in herself, for the first time in a very long time. The scenery graduated from town to farmland, brilliant rows of bright and shiny apple trees. Trixie felt her stomach gurgle slightly, remembering the last time she had been here and how hungry she had been. They looked for Applejack, who had probably been the one who had visited Trixie as she recovered the most. She had brought her so many apple-based products that Trixie figured the vast majority of her weight gain was from apple crisp and apple pie. It was only a short matter of time before they found Applejack tending to a sickly-looking apple tree. She called out a greeting to the 2. Hello, Applejack. What's wrong with the tree? Twilight responded as the 2 approached. Trixie looked up at the tree. It certainly didn't look very good. There was some sort of fungus or mold growing on the leaves, which were starting to wilt and turn brown. I don't rightly know, Twilight. It's been getting worse all week, and I'm afraid that it's going to spread to the others. Applejack sounded worried. And Twilight picked up a branch that had fallen from the crippled tree, examining the leaves. Trixie rubbed her hoof in the dirt. She knew next to nothing about farming or plants, but still the desire to try and help. She really did owe Applejack an awful lot. However, Twilight's eyes suddenly sparkled with recognition. I think I've seen this in one of my books. She looked up at Applejack and Trixie. I might be able to help you, I just have to go back and check something. Why don't you two stay here while there's no point for us to go back? Trixie? What? Trixie replied. This wasn't part of the plan. Twilight was supposed to be with her as they did this. Oh, it'll be okay, Twilight said, getting ready to go. Only be a few minutes, and it's Applejack. It'll be okay. With that, Twilight ran off, leaving the two alone. Trixie looked at the earth pony, and Applejack looked back at the unicorn. So, this wasn't going to do. Trixie took a deep breath and continued. Thank you for helping me, Applejack, she said, lowering her head slightly. I'm sorry for trying to steal from you, and hog-tying you. It ain't nothing, Trixie, Applejack said, shaking her head. You can hardly be blamed for doing that when you were so hungry. I would have given you some for free if you had asked. Trixie blushed slightly and looked hopefully up at Applejack. Besides, I can hardly stay mad at someone who's making Twilight so happy. Trixie blinked, and that blush suddenly went from bright pink to blazing red. Though if you do anything to hurt her, I'll be the first to run you out of Ponyville. The orange pony continued with a warning. You know? Trixie squeaked out, her hoof embarrassingly kicking at the dirt underneath her. How could I not? I saw the way you were looking at Twilight's sugar cube, and you've been the subject of all of Twilight's conversations all week. It don't take an expert to figure the two of you out. So, you're okay with it? Trixie asked cautiously, looking around the fire and brimstone to start a minute. As I said, as long as you make my friend happy, I'm perfectly fine. Thank you. That means a lot to me, Trixie said quietly, the embarrassment fading and the smile spreading again. She really was a comfortable pony to be around. The conversation turned to the tree, Trixie making guesses at what could be wrong and Applejack generally rejecting them. In a lull in conversation, Trixie decided to take a chance. She had to try and find out, and looking up at the tree, the question that had been nagging at the back of her mind. Why do you think she fell for me? Applejack blinked at the question and then tilted her head, a thoughtful look on her face. I don't rightly know. She saw Trixie's expression and continued. But what I do know is that when I found you, Twilight was the one who insisted on taking care of you. And she was the one who cleaned you and fed you while you were sleeping. I think she must have had those feelings before now. Really? As I said, I don't rightly know. I'm just guessing. And I don't think that's your problem, Trixie. I think you're afraid of being lost. Lost? From what Twilight has told me, things are a mite confusing to you right now. I can't imagine what it must be like questioning yourself like this. I think you're kind of afraid of losing Twilight, because that's the one thing you have right now that's certain, Applejack explained, and Trixie felt a slight chill down her spine. What would you do if you were me? It's all a matter of figuring out who you want to be. Take me. I'm an apple farmer, and I'm happy and all that. It's like finding your cutie mark all over again, ain't it? I wouldn't worry. You'll find it. Any pony that could have been through that much and survived is stronger than even they know. Trixie smiled sheepishly at the comment and then nodded. She was about to say something when Applejack pointed behind her, and Trixie turned to look, only to see Twilight dashing back towards them, carrying a book with her magic. I figured it out! I figured it out! It was in Supernatural! She called out, stopping in front of them, panting softly. She laid the book on the ground. Just mix these three together and apply it to the trunk. You return the book when you're done with it, of course. She smiled excitedly. So, everything okay here? I think so. I certainly don't have any problems with your taste, Twilight. Trixie blushed slightly and rubbed her head with a hoof. Applejack is nice. Thanks, again, for helping me, Trixie said. My pleasure, Trixie. I'm sure everything will work out all right. Trixie smiled at Applejack, and the two unicorns started walking away. What do the two of you talk about? Twilight asked with interest. Oh, well, just girl stuff, Trixie replied with a smile.